Oris have teamed up with Bracenet to make a line of watches that not only look great but contribute towards bettering aquatic life for guys like these behind me. And let's take a little bit of a closer look at this collaboration. Bracenet is a social enterprise which makes accessories from upcycled ghost fishing nets and now spectacular watch dials. This partnership comes as part of Oris's Change for the Better campaign, where they take a look at their watches and their business as a whole and see what positive and sustainable actions they can take to make positive changes to our environment. 1 million tonnes of fishing nets enter the oceans every year. They keep fishing for 400 to 600 years. 46% of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, an area of plastic waste 4.5 times the size of Germany, is made up of fishing nets that have been lost or discarded. And while they may no longer be in use, these ghost fishing nets still very sadly catch and kill marine life as they hover in the water. And there is a sad picture of a turtle coming up, so skip ahead a few seconds if you don't want to see it. This partnership comes in the form of a pair of Aquis Date divers watches, where the colourful dials are made of recycled fishing nets. Each dial is unique and, as they say on their website, tells the story of ocean conversation and the powerful changes we can bring when we act together to bring change for the better. Now let's take a dive, if you'll pardon the pun, into the first of the two watches. So this is the 36.5mm. The special features are a ceramic rotating bezel, this special engraved case back. It has a date display, it has super luminova on the hands and on the markers too. It has a wetsuit extension clasp, a screw down crown too, because of course this is a diver's watch. The case material and the bracelet material is a stainless steel, the glass type a domed sapphire with anti-reflective coating inside. The movement is the Oris caliber 733 automatic, which offers 38 hours of power reserve, and it has a water resistance of 300 meters and 30 ATM. Of the two sizes, I'd say this one is my favorite because of my small wrists, but the dial on both watches are equally as beautiful as each other. Obviously they have the slight differences, but I think they both look like you're looking through water that has those light reflections in. It is so magical and so lovely. So moving on to the 43.5mm, obviously quite a step up in terms of the size, and really there's not many differences here. So the specs are all pretty much the same. However, there are some slight visual differences, which I'll get to in a second, but let's just admire this dial for now and how lovely it is. And yes, it's got the open case back here as well. Really love the red in this open case back, it's really cool. So the slight visual differences here. So the arrow and the pip is slightly different. The arrow is kind of not filled out, the pip is kind of just in there on its own. And then also these markings around the bezel, they aren't the same on the smaller one. And also below Aquis on the dial, it says pressure resistance. Now I assume they've added this in to fill up that bigger dial with something a little bit extra. And the last watch I'm going to show you today is also from their Change for the Better campaign. This is another Aquis, but this is the Aquis Date Upcycle 41.5mm. It has the same specs as the other two I've shown you today, but the dial is different and made of something different too. So these dials are made of PET plastic, or polyethylene terephthalate if you want the scientific name, which is mainly plastic bottles that are used here and upcycled for these incredible lovely dials. And the technique that they use and the process means that each dial is entirely unique. I really love the sustainable and environmentally driven movements that Oris are making as a brand, because they're not only making lovely, stunning watches that are really unique, they're also bettering our environment and our planet at the same time. And I'm going to end this week's video on this lovely relaxing bit of water. I won't be here next week as I'm moving into my new home, but don't worry, Shari will be looking after you on TikTok and on Instagram. Enjoy your weekend, take care.